We left that fort on day 5 and drove to another fort. On the way, we saw lots of wildlife. Um, so there's a peacock, wild peacock, doing its mating dance for the female peacock. There are also lots and lots of cows, cattle, herds of cattle and cows, and water buffalo that we drove by just in the middle of the road. And just because the cows are holy, the drivers have to be very respectful and pull over or try to get around them. The cows, even not just on the main roads or the back roads, they're on the big highways too. They'll just be standing or laying in the middle of the road. So lots of wildlife. We then got to a train station. Thank you so much for my tour guide for this trip, because he bought the ticket and everything, and this was just like a 45 minute hour train ride through these mountains, hills in this part of India. It was a very, very beautiful train ride. The train itself is pretty old. It just goes a short distance within these mountains between different villages, and lots of people will get to the top of one of these mountains and they'll have a picnic and everything. My tour guide said to stay on the train, or else I would have to wait for the next train if I got off and I missed the other one. So yeah, I'm glad that I stayed on the train despite some of the locals trying to get me out to have a picnic with them and to take photos. But a very beautiful train ride. Didn't see too many monkeys. I'm assuming because it's just kind of a low monsoon season, but my driver did tell me that there are certain areas where there's lots of monkeys and you could feed them, you can throw like crackers out to them and everything. But yeah, it's a very, very beautiful train ride. I thoroughly enjoyed it. The train is pretty old itself too. It has one of those just squat toilets, just leads to nowhere. But again, it's just like a little commuter train ride. And I do have to thank my tour guide for everything that he did for me. Yogi, he was such a great driver for me. Unfortunately, during the rest of the last 2 days of the trip, he was unable to drive me because of a family circumstance. So I did get a new driver, but Yogi was absolutely amazing to me. He bought the snacks for me for the monkeys and brought me to good places so I wouldn't get sick. And like I said, he helped me every time I got to these certain destinations. He was very much helping me get the tickets or introducing me to the tour guide. And yeah, he was just such a great tour guide. I can't thank him so much for everything that he did for me on this tour. But yeah, beautiful train ride. Highly recommend it. And yeah, very, very cool to see the different landscape of India. Yogi did tell me during part of this trip we'd go through a couple of tunnels where it gets pretty dark and people then tend to scream and yell, and he was right. People, wanted to see how loud they could get in these dark tunnels. We then got to Sardergra Heritage Fort. This was a really big fort, bigger than the previous one I stayed at. And that is because it is still used as kind of like the main palace for the royal family. So the royal family still stays here. They actually own this and have turned it into a little hotel for the guests. Very, very inclusive. It has meals. It can have live performances. They can take you around the tour of the fort to tell you the history of it. This has been in the royal family, and I was the only one that was staying here. Just because it's off tourism season, I didn't see anyone else, so it was just me and the princess, or one of the daughters of the royal family. She was there keeping an eye on it. So during the off season, they make renovations, they try to do cleaning and things like that. So I was just the only one guest in this castle, and it was nice to get a tour, to get to know a little bit of the fort, and see the history of it. Again, the big gates for the elephants with the spikes, the different trees for the fruit, for the gardens. And I believe this fort is also solar powered now, which is kind of nice. They have these big honey nests that are just wild, that they actually take honey from, which is really pretty cool. And yeah, it looks over a man-made lake and everything. Just a very beautiful fort, and it was lovely to talk to the host, the princess. I forget her name, but she was very accommodating and came over, and we talked a little bit over dinner. And yeah, it was nice to again have this fort to myself as the only guest, and just to sit and relax, just like a royal person would do back then.